Yo, what's up guys, this is my revamped 1 to 99 fletching guide for 2017. In this guide I'm going to show you the best and up-to-date methods in order for you to train up your fletching, and on top of that I'm also going to show you some useful items to help you along your way. So starting off as always with those useful items, and the first one is this Fletcher's outfit. This can be obtained from Treasure Hunter. There are 5 pieces in the set and each piece gives you a 1% XP bonus. However, if you wear the full set you'll gain a total of a 6% XP bonus instead of a 5% XP bonus. So if you're lucky enough to get one of the pieces of this outfit from Treasure Hunter, make sure you wear it when you're training up your fletching. Next up is the crystal knife, and this can be made with crystal singing with a crystal tool seed and 150 harmonic dust. Now you can either make this yourself, which requires 80 smithing and the 150 harmonic dust, or it costs between 1,500 and 7,500 coins in order to turn your crystal tool seed into a crystal knife. And if you do it this way with the coins, you will not need 80 smithing or any harmonic dust. All you have to do is pay that low fee. Now what does this do exactly? Well, it gives you a 5% chance of getting double arrow shafts whenever you're fletching them, and it also gives you, and this is the main one, it gives you a 5% chance of returning a strung bow instead of an unstrung bow whenever you're fletching unstrung bows. Now this is useful whenever the strung version of the bow that you're making is more expensive than the unstrung version because you'll be getting more money back. And this crystal knife has 28 charges if you're not using it in Prif, or 56 times if you are. So if you're going to be using this, I do recommend using it in Prif. However, if you are using this along with a portable fletcher, then it may be a bit difficult. And with that being said, let's take a look at what the portable fletcher does. This will give you a total of a 10% XP boost whenever you use it. It also gives you a 10% chance to save logs whenever you're fletching bows and crossbows. It gives you a 10% chance to save arrowheads. And finally, it gives you a 10% chance to save unfinished bolts and feathers. Now, you don't actually need to buy the portable fletcher yourself. All you have to do is go to the Friends Chat Portables and ask in there where the portable fletcher is. They will then point you in the right direction, and then you can just use the portable fletcher that is there. Just remember to be polite whenever you enter and leave, because these guys are letting you use their portables for free. And these portables are definitely not cheap because they only last for 5 minutes and they're like 50k each. Alright, so that's it for the useful items. There's only like 3 in there because fletching doesn't really have that many. But before we go on to the main training methods, I'm just going to say a couple of things. This is kind of like a disclaimer thing. For each different training method, I'm going to say how much profit you're going to make or how much money that you're going to lose. And these prices are subject to change, okay? They're expected to change in the future. Prices are always going up and down depending on what the market's like. So if you're watching this like 5 months after this video's been uploaded, just remember that the prices have probably changed. And also there's going to be an amount required section, and this is calculated without any boosts. So if you are using some boosts such as the portable fletcher and the Fletcher's outfit, just remember that the amount required will be considerably less than shown on screen. I just felt the need to include this little section here just so I don't repeat myself throughout the whole video, me just telling you like prices are always going to change and stuff like that, because I think I've done that in previous guides. So yeah, just bear these 2 things in mind when you're watching. But anyway, now that's out of the way, let's get into the training methods. So from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, you want to be training on arrow shafts. In order to make these, you need normal logs, and you'll gain 5 XP every time you turn the log into arrow shafts. And you will either have to turn 78 logs if you want to get from 1 to 5, or 232 if you want to get from 1 to 10. Now the reason that there's a choice here is because 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 doing arrow shafts is completely free. If anything, you're going to be making a tiny little bit of profit, and it really doesn't take that long to get from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 if you're buying the normal logs. However, if you're cutting them down yourself, then it may take quite a bit longer. Now the slightly faster way from 5 to 10 is by fletching normal short bows. Now these give the exact same amount of XP as the arrow shafts, however you do fletch these quicker. So in order to create these, you need normal logs again, and you have to make 154 of them. Now for this one, I just recommend making the unstrung version and then selling them. Stringing them is a little bit more expensive, and in order to do this effectively, just do what I'm doing on screen now, which is make a bank preset and then fill up your inventory with normal logs. Then what you want to do is you just want to fletch the unstrung short bows, and then once you bank again, load up your preset and then do the exact same thing. Making a bank preset will make it considerably less work for you and will make banking times almost nothing. So yeah, just make sure you do that and do the exact same thing whenever you're fletching other unstrung bows. From 10 to 20, you should be making normal shield bows. Now for this, you also need normal logs once again. Every time you make one of these, you will gain 10 XP, and you need to make 332 of them in order to reach level 20. Now once again, for these, you want to make the unstrung version, and this will cost you around 45k. If you planned on making the strung version, this will cost you around 140k, so it's 100k more expensive. From 20 to 25, you should make oak short bows. The item you need for this is oak logs, and you'll get 16.5 XP every time you make one. And in order to get from 20 to 25, you need to make 210 of them. Once again for this, I recommend making the unstrung version. Making the unstrung version will only cost you around 13k, whereas the strung version will cost you around 45k. So yeah, the unstrung version is going to be a lot cheaper for you. From 25 to 35, make oak shield bows. For these, you'll also need oak logs again, and you'll gain 25 XP every time you make one. And in order to get from 25 to 35, you have to make 583 of them. And for these, you should be making the unstrung version, which will cost you around 30k. From 35 to 40, make willow shortbows, and you need willow logs for this, and every time you make one of these you'll gain 33.3 XP, and in order to get from 35 to 40 you will have to make 445 of these. Once again, you want to make the unstrung version and you'll actually gain a little bit of profit here. You'll gain like 10k profit-ish. From 40 to 50, you want to make willow shield bows, and you need willow logs for this. Once again, every time you make one, you'll gain around 41.5 XP, and in order to get from 40 to 50, you need to make 1,545 of them. Once again, no shock here, you want to make the unstrung version, and this will make you around 30k profit. From 50 to 55, make maple shortbows, and you need maple logs for this. Every time you make one, you'll gain 50 XP, and in order to get from 50 to 55, you need to make 1,307 of them. Now for these, it's really up to you on whatever you decide to do, whether or not to make the strung version or the unstrung version. Making the unstrung version will make you around 85k profit, and making the strung version will make you around 50k profit. Just bear in mind that stringing is considerably faster than making the unstrung versions, so if you don't mind sacrificing that like 35k profit, then go ahead and string them. From 55 to 65, make maple shield bows, and you need maple logs for this. Once again, every time you make one, you'll gain 58.2 XP, and in order to get from 55 to 65, you need to make 4,851 of them. Now for these, you definitely want to make the unstrung version, because this will make you around 300k profit, whereas if you string them, you'll lose around 1.3 mil. From 65 to 80 or 85, you want to make used shortbows. Now for this, finally, I recommend that you string them. Not only will it be faster XP, but you're also going to be making more money from this. So in order to string them, you need a used shortbow unstrung and a bowstring, and every time you do this, you'll gain 67.5 XP. And if you want to get to level 80, you need to make 22,766 of them, and if you want to get to level 85, you need to make 41,618 of them. At today's current prices, if you want to go all the way up to level 80, you'll make around 2.2 mil, and if you go all the way up to level 85, you'll make around 3.8 mil. So I'm going to show you how to actually string them now. First thing that you want to do is you want to withdraw 14 of the unstrung version of the bow, and then 14 bowstrings, and then with that in your inventory, you want to make a bank preset. And like I said earlier, for the unstrung version, this is just going to make your banking times pretty much nothing. And then once you've done that, just close your bank, head on over to your inventory, and then make them from there. Then when you've completed your whole inventory, just go to your bank, load up your preset, and then start all over again. Now making these is where you get a big jump in XP per hour, because you'll be getting around 160k XP per hour when you're making these, whereas with the last method, with the maple shield bow unstrung, you were only making around 90k XP an hour. So as you can tell, that is quite a big jump in XP, and the reason that I gave you a choice to go to either 80 or 85 is because if you go all the way to 85 with the used short bows, then you'll carry on making money. However, if you stop at 80 and then do magic short bows from 80 to 85, you'll only lose around 100k, and you'll be gaining roughly around 30k more XP per hour. Now this is the one that I actually recommend going with, because it is 30k XP per hour more and you're only losing around 100k, but if you really want to make that extra 1.7 mil-ish, then carry on doing used short bows. However, if you want to do this, the items that you need to do this is a magic short bow unstrung and some bowstring. Every time you make one, you'll gain 83 XP, and in order to get from 80 to 85, you'll need to make 15,286 of them. Finally, from 85 to 99, you want to make magic shield bows. Now for this, once again, you want to be stringing them, so you're going to need a magic shield bow unstrung and a bowstring for every one that you string, and for every one that you string, you'll be getting 91.5 XP. In order to get from 85 to 99, you're going to have to make 106,837 of these. Now yeah, that is a shit ton of magic shield bows. However, the good news is that you'll be making around 2.5 mil GP whilst doing this. For these, you want to be using as many boosts as you can, so make sure you use a portable crafter, and then that will speed up your time to get this by quite a lot. Just keep in mind that you can string around 2,500 bows in an hour, and that's if you're fully concentrating with bank presets like I showed you earlier, so definitely make sure that you set that up, and if you do, you should expect to get around 220k XP an hour, which is pretty decent. Now this is not the fastest way to get to 99 fletching, this is just the way that I recommend. However, if you're quite wealthy and don't mind spending the money on fletching, then there's a couple of alternatives for you. The first alternative is from 52 fletching plus, and that is to make broad arrows. In order to make these, you need broad arrowheads and headless arrows. For every arrow that you make, you'll gain 15 XP, and you can make more than 35,000 arrows in 1 hour, which equates to around 500k XP an hour. All the money that you put into making these broad arrows will be lost because you can't trade the broad arrows. So currently at today's prices, this will mean around 8 mil an hour. Now there are a couple of requirements in order to make these apart from the level 52 fletching. The first one is that you have to complete the Smoking Kills quest, and then after you've completed that quest, you have to learn how to fletch broad arrows by spending 300 Slayer reward points on it. In order to learn how to fletch it, just go to any Slayer Master and then go to the rewards section and then buy it in there. And then after you've done that, you'll be able to make the broad arrows. Now there are actually a few problems if you want to make these. Like I said earlier, you can make around 35,000 plus in 1 hour. However, the grand exchange limit on these arrowheads is 10,000 every 4 hours, so that means you'll only be able to buy 10,000 every 4 hours. So if you wanted to make these for a prolonged amount of time, then you'll have to stock up on these arrowheads beforehand, and then just make them whenever you have enough of them to do for a long time. Also, the grand exchange limit on headless arrows is 20,000 every 4 hours, but I mean, if you buy these at the same time as the arrowheads, then you shouldn't have a problem. Now, apart from buying these arrowheads in the Grand Exchange, you can also buy them from 3 different places. The first place that you can buy them is from the Slayer Master in Tavali. The Slayer Master there will have around 3,000 in stock, and you can buy them for 50 GP each. Then after that Slayer Master, go to another Slayer Master and buy the broad arrowheads from them. Once again, they'll have 3,000 of them to sell you. And then once you buy it from the other Slayer Master, all the other Slayer Masters' stock will go out of stock. And this is just because the higher Slayer level Masters share the stock. So once you buy the 3k from whatever Slayer Master you chose, they'll just go out of stock completely. And then the final place that you can get them from is from the Bandit Duty Free camp in the Bandit camp in the Wilderness. So if you do this, you'll gain 9,000 broad arrowheads a day for considerably cheaper than what they are on the Grand Exchange. And then all you have to do when you're making the broad arrowheads is just have the broad arrowheads in your inventory along with the headless arrows, and then just add them to the headless arrows, and that's it. You don't even need to bank, you don't even need to make any bank preset. I'll show you in the next slide what I mean by this, because the method of doing that is completely the same, and that is from level 95 plus you can make dragon darts. Now for this there's no extra requirements, you only need 95 fletching, and in order to make them you need dragon dart tips and feathers, and every time you make one you'll get 25 XP. However, let me just tell you this now, you'll be losing around 35 mil GP an hour. I really don't recommend it because it's just such a waste of money, but I mean it's up to you on what you do with your money. I just thought that I'd mention it just so that this option was available to you. And yeah, like I said earlier, just look at what I'm doing on screen now. It's really easy, you don't even need to bank. All you have to do is click and press space every now and again, and then it's as simple as that. But anyways guys, that is it. That is the end of my 1 to 99 fletching guide for 2017. I hope this helped you understand on how to train up your fletching. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And as always, thank you for watching, subscribe if you're new, and peace.